In this example, we are going to cover the 3 different ways that you can record vendor payments in QuickBooks. I'm using the QuickBooks Premier Accountant Edition 2010, so if you're using a different version, your screen may look slightly different. The first way that we can record a vendor payment in QuickBooks is using the check register. And you would record a payment in this manner if you have handwritten a check to the vendor or if you've paid the vendor online. So we're going to select our account, our checking account, and here's our checking account register. So we're going to enter the date that the payment was made, and the vendor's name, and the amount of the payment. And in this example, the amount of the payment was to pay for office supplies for one store and also computer equipment for a separate store. So we are going to need to use the splits function in QuickBooks to split out the costs. So we're going to use the splits button. And the first account we're going to use is office supplies for $100. And this was for printer paper purchased for the San Jose store. So we're going to enter San Jose in the class column. The second amount of items that were purchased were computer equipment, in particular computer cables. And those computer cables were purchased for the Walnut Creek location. So here you'll see through one invoice we're able to split the cost between 2 different classes. So now that we have that entered, we're going to save and close. And in a case where you're splitting the transaction between 2 different lines or separate accounts or even different classes like we did, instead of seeing the detail for the transaction like you do in the transaction right above it, it'll display split. So if you want to see the detail for that transaction, you will click on the split button below and that'll show up again. So we're going to close that. And that's all recorded, so we can hit record at the end and close our register. The second way to make a vendor payment within QuickBooks would be to write a check without recording it into accounts payable first. You would do this if you are paying the person on site and didn't need to record it as a bill to pay later. So we are going to select the Write Checks icon, and we are going to enter a check to Orlando Properties. The check is for the San Jose store's rent. So we're going to enter that in the memo column. And we're also going to include San Jose as the class for this transaction since it's the payments for their rent. And then once we have the check entered, we are going to select for the check to be printed. And you'll see once you select that function for the check to be printed, the check number at the top of the screen will change to print. So we're going to save that. The third way to enter a payment within QuickBooks is to first record a bill and then pay the bill. So we are going to select Enter Bills under the Vendor section. And we're going to enter a bill for Ace Supply. And the amount of the bill is $360 and it's for photo materials. So this is we're going to post this to our cost of goods sold account instead of office supplies. we're going to enter photo materials as our memo. And then these materials are actually for the job that we're doing for Jerry Perez. So we're going to enter his name in the customer job column. That way we can utilize our customer and job tracking features within QuickBooks. The class for this transaction is Walnut Creek. And we're going to record on the memo line that these are photo materials for the Jerry Perez job. So now that we have the bill entered, we are going to save that. And the next step we're going to do is we're going to pay that bill that we just entered. So now we're going to click on the Pay Bills icon. And here you'll see that the bill we just entered is showing up. So we're going to select that bill. And if you notice when we entered the bill, Ace Supply offers us a discount for paying the invoice early. And since we're paying it early, we're going to go ahead and take that discount that's offered to us. So in the bottom of the screen, we're going to select that discount. And here QuickBooks will come up based on the terms, the amount of the discount. And we're going to post that to the purchase discounts account. And the discount class is going to be Walnut Creek, since that's what store the original invoice was for. So now that we have that entered, we're going to select Done. And you'll see that the discount used column now displays that $7.20, and the amount to pay has been decreased by our discount. We're also going to select the check to Wong & Son Video to pay. And now that we have the bill selected that we want to pay, at the bottom of the screen, you're going to select your payment date. The payment method that we're using is check. You're going to make sure the correct checking account is selected. And then we can select Pay Selected Bills. So now we'll have a payment summary display. And we can either print the checks directly from the screen here, or we can select Done. So if we wanted to go back and print the checks that we just paid, we would go to File and Print Forms and select Checks. And here you'll see all of the checks that we have to print. These two, the Ace Supply and the Wong & Son Video, were the ones included in the Pay Bills example that we just used. And the Orlando Properties check, if you remember, was the check that we had entered directly by using the Write Check icon on the home screen. So we're going to go ahead and close that. And if for some reason we had paid a bill by mistake, the way that we would go back in and void a check would be directly in the check register. We're going to select the Wong & Son Video. We're going to right click on the line, and we would go to Void Bill Payment Check.